Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to a new series here at Hip Motorsports on Tuesday night, April 4th. I'm pretty sure it's April 4th. Anyway, a lot of new faces this series out, but I'm also joined today in the booth by our reigning double defending champion, Christian Moniz. Christian, welcome to the booth, my friend.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to being here with you, and it's going to be a great race.
It will be. So give me a bit of an input right now. What do these cars like to drive? Because these are radically different than the cars that we drove last time, and I hear that these are front-wheel drive, so it's a totally different ballgame.
Definitely. The two cars we did in the leagues prior was a GR86 and a Miata. Both of those cars like to slide around and tend to be really loose. The Hyundais are meant for it to be a race car, and genuinely they're meant to be driven properly. So you can't be sliding around the track and doing stuff like that. So you have to be very precise on using your brakes properly and having initial turn. It's going to be interesting on the first few laps because in practice, the tires do squeal a lot and the brakes, which obviously means that the tires are very cold. So it'll be really interesting to see how the drivers react to that and slow up just to keep those tires under themselves.
Yeah, I agree. These things are going to take a bit to get going. Well, the pace car is rolling. So let's quickly go through the starting grid, shall we? At least with the top four here. Pierre Paolo will once again start on pole. He was lightning fast at the end of last series. Took home quite a few wins. Jay, also another favorite, always in Group 2. He starts alongside him on the front row. Devin starts in third spot. He had a great finish to his season last year, up in the front in Group number 1. Not the case tonight. He's in Group 2. And Aiden, newcomer to the series, starts on the second row on the outside. As they roll down, Mike might be able to even pick up a bit of the brake squealing, but here we go as we exit out of the final chicane. I think only 9 corners on this track tonight as we get ready to roll. Pierre Paolo's already on the gas. Here we go. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Silverstone. Pretty even start so far. Pierre Paolo got a great launch. Jay slots through into second, almost single file the whole way through. Side by side a little bit further back.
Everyone seems to be tiptoeing through the track just to keep the tires, warm up the tires.
Yeah, doesn't look like anybody's trying to risk it so far. That was one of the cleanest starts, and I think that's the fastest I've ever seen any one group get single file as we already get through half a lap here. These are very, very quick lap times. This is the one area right there. You saw Pierre Paolo and a couple of guys going wide already a little bit further back. This is going to be a corner where we saw it a lot. Track limits are a thing, and a couple guys get black flag for that, as I think already you see the 77 of Aiden going slow. I'm pretty sure he just had to lift off the gas because he went too wide there. That's 1, 2, 3 spots, maybe 4 in one straightaway. Up to Cobb's corner. As we ride with John now, whoop, just in front of them. Look out, that was close. I think that was Mike that went out a bit wide there. As he slots back in line, he currently runs 5th. Let's go back up to the front. Pierre Paolo a little bit wide out of the last corner. But he holds it. He leads lap 1 with a decent advantage over Jay. I believe he still remains in second place. No, it's Devin that's gotten up into second place now. Jay slots down into third. John Venditti, who's joined the battle, is up to 4th. Now remember, he's not running for points, and I don't think we'll finish this race either. So he'll hang around up until the final minutes. But he just runs outside of the podium places right now. Here comes Devin. He's already setting his sights on Pierre Paolo. Christian, you raced with Devin last time out. What surprised you last time, or what took you by him as he closes right to the rear bumper?
Devin's very experienced in sim racing and even in real life, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Pierre Paolo is able to defend against him.
Yeah, we'll see. He's already on the defensive right now, trying to break the slipstream as they slalom down the back straightaway and up into the sweeper at the top of the hill.
This is going to be a great battle for the lead the whole race.
I think so, unless one of these guys make a mistake. But so far, we haven't seen really any mistakes from anybody else as we head down into the chicane. Devin leaves the braking a little bit late. Pierre Paolo missed the apex. And here comes Devin to the bumper. Not close enough to make a look, but he is right there.
Gets into that draft very well.
Yes. Let's see if that'll help him as we come through here. Not quite sure it's going to propel him enough, but he does set the fastest lap. That's a bonus point to his name. Looking to take those points very early on in the season.
Slides a bit out of the exit of turn 1, loses a bit of time.
And he dipped a wheel, actually, on the inside. Remember, that could go against your X count as well. That's quite critical. That will get you the most bonus points, remember, is having the lowest X count, or even better, having a 0 X count. That will get you 8 bonus points, which can be critical by the end of the season.
Lastly, that was a big strategy. There's a number of drivers who would specifically go for 0x, and that really paid out for them.
It did. Even if you do finish behind, you can at least maybe score a few more bonus points than the person in front of you, or break even on points, but it is crucial towards the championship. Devin still riding right in second. Let's go a little bit further back to Mike, back in 5th spot right now. He leads the second train, although he's kind of on his own. Not terrible so far. He's got a bit of a gap back to Aiden, then John, and then David Butcher makes up in 8th spot. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or not. Let's go back to him. He's actually gone up a spot. I think he's gotten ahead of John now. Yep, up into 7th place as we come through the chicane. Pierre Paolo sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:11.9. So we go back up a little bit further to the lead. Actually, fastest lap given to John Venditti. But he's still a little bit off right now as Devin's made a mistake. He was right on the bumper that last lap around. Pierre Paolo's pulled the gap to over 2 seconds now. So he has really gotten back on it. Let's go back to Jay. He's got John Venditti all over the back of him now for 3rd place.
By the looks of it, he'll go look in the turn 1 after the draft and maybe make a move there.
He might get there sooner as he gets through the sweeper quite quick, but I don't think he got a very good exit off as we head down into the chicane. Not close enough this time unless he pulls a massive dive bomb here. Not able to. But again, this time Jay missed the apex a little bit. That's going to hurt his momentum on the exit. Here comes Venditti to the bumper. Had a bit of a look. I think you're right. He's going to have a run right here down the front straightaway unless Jay defends from him. John's got a bit of a run, but nope, he couldn't quite get there. I guess the draft isn't as powerful in these cars as it was in the Toyota Siennas the last time we raced. You would think with that rear wing on the back, that would make quite a bit of a difference, but it also would probably help with following people. So, Devin set his personal best lap of the race. Wow, Pierre Paolo really stepped it up. That would be the fastest lap if that last lap was clean. Jay out a bit wide. Venditti to the inside. I don't think Jay's even going to have a choice right here. John got a very nice exit. He's not clear of him yet. Now he's clear. And Jay tucks back in line. As we come up to turn 6, I believe. Whoa! Jay gets pretty sideways there. Hangs on to it, though. But I think John Venditti's got a bit more pace right now. Top 4 have broken away from the rest of the field as we continue on 6 minutes down. Let's go back up to the front. I believe Devin's been starting to close in a little bit. Or did he just make a mistake? I saw some tire smoke. No. But Pierre Paolo, nope. Now Devin sets the fastest lap of the race. Just under a 10th quicker, but still making his way up. As you see, once again, John Venditti up into 3rd place. Again, he's not racing for points, so expect him to dip out of the race by the end. As we continue on. And you said Pierre Paolo looked to have quite a bit of pace at the end of last season, Christian. And he's looking to continue that right now.
He's an overall great driver with great defending skills, so it'll be very interesting what Devin can do at the end of this race.
Yeah. He's trying to close in right now, but Pierre Paolo just trying to break any little bit of slipstream it is. It looks like one lap, Devin's faster, and then the next lap, Pierre Paolo's been a bit quicker. So it's kind of just a cat and mouse game of whoever's quicker right now as Devin goes a bit wide. And I would keep your eye on John Venditti right now because he's stepped it up a little bit. As we go back through the chicane. Let's go a little bit further back to Mike. He still runs in 5th. He's got David Butcher, who's made up a few spots now. He's up into 6th place. Not bad. Aiden's dropped down to 8th. I think he made a mistake somewhere. As these guys are really starting to step up their lap times. Great last lap from John Venditti. 1:11.7. Again, last lap, Pierre Paolo was into the 1:11.5s, but it doesn't give him the fastest lap because, again, it wasn't clean. I think, once again, we're breaching that same track limits as we rock through turn 1. Still following on Mike up through turn 2 and heading up into turn 3. Do a quick left-hander at turn 4 and up again to the right-hander at turn 5. Now we come down the long back straightaway. And I think what you're seeing as well with these guys compared to the leaders, Christian, is the leaders are just a lot more confident going through turn 5 there and willing to take a lot more track and not worrying about track limits too much.
Very much so.
So let's go back to our race, or second place right now. Pierre Paolo still with the race lead. Devin trying to track him down. Again, it's just about the same, 2.5 seconds. And again, another 11.5 by Pierre Paolo. So he continues to pull out the lead as John Venditti goes the quickest on the board. 1:11.1. That's 4/10 quicker than the race leader and 8/10 faster than what Devin's running right now. So he is on the charge coming up through the field. And we're not even halfway yet. But the biggest thing that I've seen so far as well is contradicting last season is you really haven't seen a lot of mistakes from any drivers at all. They've been able to keep it very clean so far.
Very much so. Most of these drivers in these groups have sims at home. So prior to the race day, they do put them in practice times and try to get that consistency out of them. So makes sense.
I totally agree with that. And you would also think with these cars it would be a lot more difficult to handle, at least with the understeer, because these are front-wheel drive cars, but they've been able to manage it very well. Even though a few drivers have said the back end wants to stick out on you, that really hasn't been the case from what we've seen so far, at least up in the top 4.
Which really shows how talented this group of drivers are.
Yes. And maybe we'll see with different tracks. You never know with the shuffling. Again, it's down to practice on which group you end up going in. So we saw that a lot last season out. As we go back to this battle now, here we go. John versus Aiden for 7th spot. Aiden was right on the back of John as we headed up to turn 6. And through turn 7 there. Through turn 8 and now through turn 9, the final corner on the track. Let's see if Aiden can get to the bumper as Pierre Paolo sets his personal best lap of the race. Devin lost a bit that last lap around. He was only able to turn a 1:12.1. He lost about 7/10 that last lap around. So the victory might be slipping away from him, but it's still early on. As there's a real wiggle right there. You saw John get loose. Here comes Aiden. Yeah, he thought about it. He did dip a wheel into the grass there.
Had to check up there.
Yeah, he almost ran into the side of him. Or I guess he just decided to play it safe as he does go a little bit wide there through turn 3. Wow, did he throw it in there? And again, I don't think you want to get any more wider than that, or else you are going to have to concede due to the black flag and the track limits violation. So let's go up a little bit further there. You just saw David Butcher starting to catch up to Mike. Actually, he's gotten past Mike and up into 5th place. So good stuff right there from David Butcher. Now can he hold him off as Mike tries to mount a charge back to him? 11 minutes down, still with a little bit left to go, but great stuff by David Butcher getting himself up into the top 5. Now can he hold it? Again, this was another guy that was absent last season, and now he's back. Let's see how he handles these cars as Jay sets his personal best lap of the race. Kind of all on his own in 4th, but I'm pretty sure he's going to inherit 3rd here in a minute. Oh, David Butcher goes way wide at turn 3. Here comes Mike. Nope, not able to get him there. Now does he have a run? He kind of pinched the corner a little bit more. Looks like David Butcher was able to carry a bit more speed out of turn 5 as we head down the back straightaway. But one of the biggest things as well, Christian, is I haven't really seen the draft be that big with these cars. It just doesn't look like it's making a difference.
With the second league, in the first race, the GRD6 was very powerful. Like, you could pull in front of somebody, and then they could pull in front of you. Not so much here.
No.
So, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it just doesn't really look like. Now, again, this track really doesn't, it only has the one long straightaway, but even still, it just doesn't look like it's all that effective. We'll see with later on tracks if it makes a bigger difference, but so far, these are significantly less than what we saw with the Toyota Siennas last season. Let's go back up to Devin in 2nd place because he's got John Venditti. Someone start playing the Jaws music because he is closing in on him quick. That blue and orange machine is getting closer and closer to the back of the 66 as he again set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.7. That is on par with the fastest laps we've seen so far tonight. as Devin goes way wide at turn 6. And now John Vendidi's right on him. Devin immediately jumps on the defensive. He kind of blew the corner again. I think John Vendidi's looking for an over-under here.
Here we'll see if the draft really plays in part. Might be able to pull alongside him.
Devin going defensive. I don't think Vendidi's going to try it. He got a much better run out of the last corner as well. Now around the outside at turn 1 and makes the pass stick. Very nicely done. That's a hard move to make.
Very much so. That was impressive.
That was great stuff from John Venditti. Goes to show you why he's such a good driver. He makes the pass stick on Devin, but he got a bit wide there as they pop over the curb. Devin immediately back on the charge up the inside at turn 5.
Wow.
Venditti taking all the road he can and using quite a bit of track there. Doesn't look like he breached track limits. Looks like he's still fine. Now can he try to hunt down Pierre Paolo? But again, I don't think he's going to finish this race because he's not in it for the points. He's just out there to have fun right now, but he did a great move and goes to showcase his skill and maybe some other moves that drivers can do. But making a pass through there with absolutely no banking at turn 1, that's normally something you don't see at all. Even in real life racing in F1 or sports cars here at Silverstone, it's hard to do. As we close in on the final 5 minutes of this race.
It'll be interesting to see if John can really catch up to Pierre.
Yeah. Well, he's got a bit more time. But, again, that battling did slow them down as Pierre Paolo was, again, able to pull out a bit more of a lead. He has the second fastest lap. Third fastest lap, actually, give it to Jay at 1:11.7, as David and Mike did set their personal best last lap around. Let's go back to that battle and see how those two are still faring. So here's David. And Mike, it looks like he's fallen a bit further back off as he lost 0.3 on that last lap around. Just can't quite get back to him. I think he made a bit of a mistake earlier and David Butcher was able to get past him, and he has not been able to respawn ever since. So let's go back up to our race leader, Pierre Paolo. He's led since the drop of the green flag. Built up his lead, although he's got John Venditti closing in on him, but I don't know if John's going to have enough time to get there.
You can just see John and Devin over the crest of the hill, but you never know. He might be able to pull some insane times out and catch up.
Yeah, it is going to be hard, though, with less than 4.5 minutes to go. And if you just saw right there as well, Devin was closing back into him, but John Venditti's been able to pull it out. That time he beat Pierre Paolo by 0.4, but he's going to need more than that. As we fire it back into turn number 1. It kind of just looks like these cars now are in a 4-wheel slide, especially through 1, which makes that pass on the outside all the more impressive. Let's go back to Jay now in 4th spot. He's just kind of been on his own ever since John Venditti got past him, minding his own business. Unfortunately, he's been one that we've seen so far when he has been in the lead of races. He's unfortunately made a few mistakes that's completely cost him the win when it looked as a for sure gone conclusion that he was going to take the checkered flag. Didn't really work out for him. That happened to him a couple times last season. This time out, he's been able to keep it clean, even though he runs in 4th right now, which should turn into 3rd place by the end of this. A little bit further back, looks like David Butcher's broken clear away from Mike because he's beat him by over 1.5 seconds that last lap around. So 1:12.2 to a 1:13.6. That's quite the difference. As we go back to our race leader, he's pulling out some pretty decent times again, 1:11.5. Let's see what John Venditti turns. Nope. Well, actually, it didn't turn. It looks like he was a bit off that last lap around, as there was no time for him. So, goes to show you didn't keep it clean.
So has Devin. Both of them didn't get a clean lap.
Neither of them did. So, again, is that a breach of track limits, or did they try to go over the curbs a bit too much? Just goes to show you. It's really hit or miss on how wide you get there at turn 5. That has really been the trouble spot. And you can see it makes a bigger difference as long as you don't drive it in too hard. The speed that you can carry out of there.
It's a big gamble, but with high reward.
Mm-hmm. We saw that last series at the 3rd race of the season where I think it was Kyle Watt. He kept having that issue where he kept cutting the corner while he was leading, and he kept having to jump out of the gas to get rid of the penalty, and it just brought everybody bunched up and created for some absolutely insane racing. As we cross the line once again, 2 minutes to go and 2 laps to go for Pierre Paolo as he enjoys a 6-second lead over John Venditti right now. That gap really has not come down.
As long as he can keep it clean, this should be a win for him.
Well, he's been perfect so far. He has not put a wheel wrong in this race as far as I've seen. Got a great start, had no issues, and has just put the hammer down ever since then. As he rolls through turn 5, maybe missed the apex that time, but it didn't really matter. John Venditti does loom a bit closer in the background, but it just doesn't look like he's going to quite get there. And again, I don't think he's going to make anything past this lap. I'm pretty sure you're going to see him peel off into the pit lane soon.
And saying that, also, Pierre Paolo will probably get the fastest lap unless somebody can take it from him.
Yes.
With a 1:11.4.
I don't see anybody else that's quite on that pace. If anything, Devin might want to just see if he can scoot out one last good lap here coming to the final lap. He's about a 10th off. I don't really think anybody else is in the 1:11s aside from Jay as well. As we go back to our race leader, Pierre Paolo crosses the line. 1 lap to go at Silverstone for Group Number 2's first race. So far, so good. Through turn 2. And up to turn 3. And yes, now you don't see John Venditti there anymore, so he has made his exit, so that'll give Devin second, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Half a lap to go. A little bit of twitch right there. He did get a bit loose. You don't want to be making any mistakes now in this final lap. Down the back straight for the final time. As the time's about to expire in 10 seconds. That's just what he wants to see. Devin too far back to make anything happen. Jay will inherit third, I'm pretty sure. As we make our way around turn 6 and 7. On the curbs, into the chicane for the final time. Well, absolutely held it. Absolute domination. This is an early statement and an early championship lead. Pierre Paolo takes the first race of the series. He wins in Silverstone.
Stellar performance by Pierre Paolo.
Very. Devin comes across the line to start his season strong in second place. And he doesn't quite get the fastest lap there, although he did beat Pierre Paolo on the last lap. We'll see if anybody else can pull a better lap than what Pierre Paolo's is. So close for Jay. He just couldn't quite do it. He was less than a 10th away.
Personal best for him.